Salute everybody. Salute to my moderators. Salute to the chat. Salute to the replay game. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Are Africans ready to have the conversation about them selling us into slavery? I want to welcome everybody from both of my platforms to this demonstration. I'm streaming from the After Dark with Shank, as well as the main channel, Shank Rock. All right. Now, let me see where I want to start at. Okay, let's start with the African immigrants that look down on Black Americans. Now, there are a lot of Africans that understands Black Americans struggle. There are a lot of Africans that don't put down Black Americans. I happen to know a few of them. So I want to say shout out to those Africans that do not put Black Americans down. So I want everybody to sit back, relax, and let's get into this demonstration. Now, this is to those Africans who look down on us. Now, let's start at the beginning of slavery, because some Africans always say, why do Black Americans always blame the white man? Why do Black Americans always pull the race card? And I've had several white people say, why Black Americans don't never talk about the Africans that sold y'all into slavery? And I was one at one time, I was one to always overlook the fact that it was Africans that sold us into slavery. So I feel like as Black Americans, I feel like if we can hold white Americans, if we can hold white people accountable, I feel like we should be able to hold those whom sold us into slavery. But let's just go deeper, y'all. Now, I want to play this clip. I found this clip, and this is a clip from one of our elders, and he has some choice words to say about African immigrants that disrespect Black America. So let's tap into the elder. Let me see who we got down there in the chat. Salute Ventia, Michelle, Alliance Queen, Positive Vibes. Salute everybody. Let's tap into the elder. See what the elder got to say.
Good morning on this Monday morning to the melanated family. This is the elder out of New Orleans coming to you with another informative video. All praises to our creators and our ancestors. Family, this video is going to be to the African immigrants, Caribbean immigrants, Black immigrants, I'm talking about specifically, that come to America and try to disrespect us, and you do disrespect us. You say all kind of negative things, that we are lazy. We built this country. When you got here, this country was already built. You was not here during slavery time. You was not here in the 17, 18, 1900s. You wasn't here in 1920, 1930, when it was burning down our great communities like Wall Street, Rosewood, Florida, Elaine, Arkansas, and many more places. You ain't built nothing. Matter of fact, you need to go back where you come from and take care of your own country, where they living in some of the worst poverty of mankind. Why are you coming to America talking crazy about us when we are the reason you here?
And I'm going to just stop right there. And I think the elder made a very excellent point. Why come to America and downplay Black Americans? Why come to America and talk all of this that Black Americans don't do? Y'all talk about Black Americans are lazy. Y'all talk about Black Americans aren't productivity in the communities. All of this smoke you all have for Black Americans, but why aren't y'all in your own country building up your own country? Do y'all follow me? See, it's so much smoke from all of these immigrants about Black Americans. Well, if y'all feel this way about Black Americans, why aren't y'all in your own country building your own country up? It's like going into somebody's house. It's like you got roaches in your house. You go in somebody else's house and talk ish about the roaches that they got in their house. And then when they finally visits your house, they like, God damn, all that smoke you had for me about my roaches, you got cockroaches. You got water bugs. You got more insects in your house than I got in my house. But for the 4 or 5 years you was coming in my house, you had all this smoke for me and my insects.
You wasn't here in the 20s. You wasn't here in the 1700s. You wasn't here in the 1800s. You wasn't here during Jim Crow. You wasn't here when it was burning our towns down.
And let me speak on another thing. As far as Africans and other nationalities calling Black Americans lazy. See, this is the one thing that y'all fail to realize. As Black Americans, we built this country. Our ancestors, they built this country. The Caucasians got free labor out of our ancestors. So now when Black Americans, when we see the same play that was ran on our ancestors, we see it being ran on us. No, we're not going to take those minimum wage jobs. I said it again, and I'll said it before, and I'll say it again. A minimum wage job to a Black America is totally different from that same minimum wage job to an immigrant. Black Americans, we don't have no third world countries. We don't have no country where we can send the American dollar to and it triples. But if you come from an African country, if you come from a country on the continent of Africa, if you come from any of those countries, then y'all have the advantage over Black Americans because y'all could send that minimum wage paycheck back home to y'all land, to y'all country, and that minimum wage paycheck will be 3 times what it is in your country compared to here. So the odds is stacked against Black Americans, and it's been stacked against Black Americans from day one when we was captured and we was put into bondage. But I want the Africans to pull up on this demonstration. And I want the Africans to take accountability for their ancestors selling us into slavery. And I know what some of y'all are going to say, because I used to say this when white folks would say, but Shank, it was your own people that sold y'all into bondage. And I would say, and I would try to justify those Africans. And I would say, but the Africans, they didn't know the kind of treatment that we were going to be faced with the white people. I backtrack that because now I realize it don't make a difference whether those Africans knew the harsh conditions that we were going to be placed under. Those funky ass Africans still sold us into slavery. And now I'm starting to look at it in another lens. Those funky ass Africans didn't give a damn how we were going to be treated.
Where you was. You ain't fighting for your own country, your own government misusing and abusing you. The white man don't love you no better than he love us.
Did you hear that? And many come to this country. The Africans come to this country. Me no black America. Me no black. Me no black. Me from here. Me from there. And those from Africa still fall under the category of black. And then when they get racially profiled, and when the things that happen to black Americans happen to them Africans, then they realize, damn, we ninjas just like the black Americans.
That's what y'all can't understand. And just leave us alone. Sit up there, but we ain't got no culture, but I don't see y'all wearing no African shit.
Did you hear what he said? Africans quick to talk about black Americans don't have no culture. Well, why, when y'all are in America, why do y'all dress like black Americans? Some of y'all still hold on to the African garbs. The elders are hold on to the African garbs. But even some of the elders that come from Africa, from the continent Africa, some of them dress like black Americans. Some of them start to talk like black Americans. How dare y'all say black Americans don't have any culture? I hope y'all realize, and the elder is getting ready to say this, I hope y'all realize American culture is black American. White Americans will testify again. White Americans will testify to that. White Americans will tell you when we want to get put up on the latest fashion, we go to the black Americans. When we want that music that really puts soul into it, who do white Americans come to? They come to black Americans. You go on TikTok. I advise all of y'all, go on TikTok and you'll see white Americans giving thanks to black Americans. You'll see white Americans, when they cook, they're using seasoning now. And it's no disrespect to white Americans. This demonstration is not about white Americans. White Americans, y'all stay on the side. This ain't about y'all. But this is for the Africans and the other immigrants that praises white Americans, bow down to white Americans, and look down on black Americans. White Americans use our culture. Are y'all following me? Talking to the Africans. Y'all so quick to put black Americans down. If I walk across the street, and this has happened, and I watched this several times. I walk across the street. I'll be walking across the street, and the immigrant, African, immigrant from them third world countries, they will speed up. Now, I got the right of way to walk. Sometimes they'll run a stop sign and speed up in front of me. White person will walk across the street, and y'all know white people, when they cross streets, they don't look. They just walk. Some of them have their heads down. Some of them be looking up in the sky when they walk across the street, because white people know whether they're in the wrong or not. They know the white privilege badge that they have. They know people is going to automatically stop for them. But why do Black Americans get treated so bad? I mean, this shit is so bad to the point that I'm addressing it. And anytime I have to address something, that means that it's really, really bad. Black Americans, stand up. Stop showing love to all these foreigners. It is what it is. These are the days and times that we are in today. Because as y'all can see, we all we got. We're all we got. They could care. They could give a damn about us. But for the Africans, y'all got so much to say about Black Americans. So much to say.
I don't see none of y'all wearing no dashikis and kufis. That's right. I see you acting like us, trying to steal our culture, try to make us look like fools, and you really the fools. That's right. Leave us alone. Go on back home. Because Donald Trump gonna get rid of a bunch of y'all anyway. It doesn't matter. A bunch of y'all getting them on out of here when the shit hit the fan. Leave us alone. Leave Foundation of Black Americans alone. Indigenous Foundation Americans who was here when the white man came. Why you ain't trying to tell the Jamaicans to be Africans or this, that, and the other? Like Africa's the only place Black people live. That's one of the biggest lies ever told. Just leave us alone and go back home and get your life together. You Nigerians, you Kenyans, you people that come from the Caribbean want to look down on, disrespect us, because it's like the white man. They say that's mostly what it is. Go back to Nigeria, go back to Kenya, go back wherever you come from.
Now I'm gonna come back to the elder, all right, but I want to go into exactly where do Black Americans come from. All right, let's tap into that, and you all can help me build in the chat as well as on the replay game. But let's tap into what part, because Africa is a continent and there are many countries on the continent of Africa. All right, so it says many African Americans, which is Black Americans, many trace their ancestral to West and West Central Africa, as the majority of Africans brought to North America during the transatlantic slave trade came from this region. So they're saying that the majority of us came from West and West Central Africa. You got, give me a minute. Let me pull this up. And I had it at one time. I can never go back. I got to get better with my notes. All right. So I'm going to need y'all to help pronounce some words. All right. So it says place of origin. 80% of all enslaved persons arriving in North America came directly from Africa. Now we know that there were a large percentage of melanated people already here, okay? But some did come from Africa. So it says, and I'm going to pronounce, and y'all can, you know, I'm going to spell it and y'all pronounce it on your own. So 13% came from the Senegal and Gambia. All right, 13%. And of course, that name was Senegambia. But 13% of us came from Senegal and Gambia. All right. 16% of us came from Ghana. 16% came from Ghana. 23% came from Nigeria and Cameroon. Then you had 23%. No, I already read that. Then you had 11% that came from Liberia. You had another 25% that came from the Congo, Zaire, Angola, and Namibia. I hope I pronounced them right. So those are the places that a large percentage of the Black Americans were brought from. All right. It says ports of arrival. As popular as DNA is in providing clues to ancestral origins, learning the likely port of entry for one's African American ancestral will give important clues to their place of origin in Africa. Below, I already read that, but I'll read it again. Below are distributions of African origins based upon entry into the U.S. and South Carolina, Virginia, and New Orleans. So let me come back to the elder. And this is an open panel. I will drop the link. And anyone that want to come up on a panel with me and help me with this demonstration, feel free to pull up.
And take care of your own homeland. Coming here trying to steal our reparations, trying to downplay our culture when we are the culture of America. We are the culture of the world. Everybody loves Black Americans. That's right. I'm sick and tired of these people talking about we this and we that, but you're trying to be us. This, that, and the other. That's right, family. Going back to Nigeria, going back to Kenya, going back to Sudan, where they're living like living in some of the worst conditions of mankind. That's right, family.
And I think the elder is right on point. You know, when y'all come here, you know, think about where you came from. You know, why come and downplay Black Americans? Learn history, okay? Now, I'm going to give y'all a small part of history. So 40% of all Africans arrived through Charleston, South Carolina. Now, the 40% that come from, that was transported to South Carolina, Charleston, were Angola, Congo, it says represented 40%. Then the Senegal and Gambia represented 19%. You got Windward Coast represented 16%. Then you had the Gold Coast represented 13%. But 40% of the slaves came through Charleston, South Carolina. You got Virginia. It says others arrived at various ports in Virginia from the following locals. You got Congo on here, Angola. You got the Gold Coast. You got the Biafra. I know I messed that up. You got some from Senegal and Gambia, Windward Coast, Sierra Leone, Mozambique. I can't pronounce that. Madagascar. All right, it says, now you got New Orleans. A lot come from New Orleans. But now you got to remember, because down there in New Orleans, the natives that was down there in New Orleans, they were melanated. But let me read to y'all what it says about New Orleans. It says 90% of Africans brought to Louisiana arrived between 1719 and 1730. It says 2/3 of enslaved persons arriving in Louisiana were from Senegal and Gambia, mostly Bambara people from present-day Mali, and Wolofs located at the mouth of the Senegal River. I see you, Glitz Glam. Glitz Glam says very true. Very similar to my DNA results, and people are from the Carolinas. It says nearly 30% of enslaved people brought to Louisiana came from the Bight of Benin near present-day Togo and Benin. The remaining 5% came from Congo or Angola. Now, where is Shank Rock going with all of this? Now, here comes North Carolina. It says few enslaved persons were brought directly to North Carolina ports because natural harbors were lacking. It says enslaved generations. The first African came to Jamestown in 1619. William Tucker, born in 1624, was the first recorded African American born on American soil. There were 12 generations of slavery between 1619 and 1865, according to Finding a Place Called Home. Until the 1820s, more than twice as many people of African descent crossed the Atlantic Ocean as Europeans. But how could the Europeans enslave us if it wasn't for the Africans? I bet the Africans, they don't want to have this conversation. I can promise y'all that. But the Africans are so quick. They so quick to talk about Black America this, Black America that. Why won't Black Americans just get over slavery? Salute, Diamond Star. But can we have this conversation? Enough of us talking about the white people enslaving us. Let's start the dialogue. Let's start to talk about the Africans that sold us, the Africans that captured us. See, that's the conversation that I want to start having today. Since the Africans want to come for us and want to talk smack about Black Americans this and Black Americans that. There you go. You got the African, and whether we accept that we are Israelites or not, regardless of who we chose to be, there were the Europeans. Look at the pic. There were Europeans, Caucasians, right? That brought us. The Caucasians didn't capture us. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Was it the Caucasians that captured us? Or was it the Africans that captured us and sold us to the Caucasians? Somebody help me out. I could be wrong. Where y'all at? Africans? Well, where y'all at? And I know, Shank Rock, get over it. No. We're not going to get over slavery until we get justice, until we get reparations from the United States of America and any other government that had slaves. We're not going to get over it until we get reparations from the United States of America government and also those African nations that captured us and sold us into slavery. And y'all got to give us back our identity. See, our identity plays a major role. It plays a major role. We might not know who we are, but guess who does? The United States of America. They document it. They got documents. These governments, they know exactly where we come from. They know they got to give all that back. I know some of y'all going to say, Shank, none of that matters. It does matter. It does matter. I promise y'all, if they give us back what they took from us, if they give us reparations, I promise y'all, Black Americans would rise so high up. We wouldn't need these entities that we so long turn towards to help us. I see you, Leslie. Salute. Africans sold us to European invaders. Are you FBA? I don't claim foundational. I don't claim the FBA. And all the FBA really is Native Black Americans. Tariq coined the FBA. So let me come back to the elder. I dropped the link. Come on up. Chop it up with me.
Family, we're going to cut this video short. This is just a little short rant that I woke up and wanted to tell our people that John Henry Clark wasn't lying. We have no friends, not even among our own kind. That's right. And we the cause of y'all being here until Donald Trump get ready to kick your Carter your own out of here. Peace.
And that's just the reality that we're in, everybody. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but we're in this by ourselves. We are. We're in this by ourselves. And until Black Americans realize that and stop having love and showing love to all of these other nationalities, because y'all know we quick to show love. We quick to forgive other races. We quick to talk about, well, you know, you can't trust Black people. Well, you can't trust the other nationalities as well. I'd rather take a chance with trusting my own and having my own do me wrong than put trust in the other nationalities and then they do me wrong. Leslie says we are by ourselves. That's facts. Salute, Tam. Let me grab one more from him. I'm not going to hold y'all that much longer. But the elder was dropping jewels. All right, here we go.
Good evening, family. This is the elder out of New Orleans coming to you with another informative video. All praises to our creators and our ancestors. But family, a lot of people have been asking me to give my thoughts on this viral nonsense that's going on, Black fatigue. Something Mr. Charlie and Miss Becky put out, saying they're tired of Black people. And you got the coons and the sellouts regurgitating the same thing. tired of us. Really? For 500 years, my people have been tired of you. For 500 years, there has been no justice in America. Stole our land, reclassified us as Negroes, lynching, Jim Crow, burning down our towns. Can't do nothing for ourselves. You get mad, this, that, and the other. When you voted for Donald Trump, you got everything you needed. A racist president. Now they're saying we ain't supposed to defend ourselves. We ain't supposed to stop somebody for calling us racial slurs. What's wrong with these people? And the sad part about it, you got these ninjas, the Rangos, the Anton Daniels, the Officer Tatum's regurgitating a bunch of nonsense. Because that's what it is. If anybody tired, we are tired for injustice. We are tired of police killings. We are tired of a lot of things that you're doing that's not right to our people.
And the most important thing, we're tired of y'all blaming Black Americans for all the problems that go on in this country. Y'all saw it a few weeks ago when ICE was jumping on the Latinos and Hispanic. They was blaming Black Americans. Where's the Black Americans at? Why isn't the Black Americans helping us? We like, goddamn, because it ain't our fight. We as Black Americans, we get blamed for all the ills. But when something good happened, oh no, Black Americans ain't getting no credit. Africans, I want to talk to y'all. Pull up. Like I said, white Americans, step to the side. This ain't y'all beef. Any immigrants that's non-Africans, step to the side. I want to talk to the Africans. Because my belief, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, Black Americans, we came from different countries on that continent, Africa. But our issue started with the Africans that captured us and sold us. Because I'm going to tell you, the white men wouldn't have been able to do nothing with us. Those funky ass white slave merchants, they wouldn't have been able to do nothing with us. So they had to get others that were equal to us, the Africans. So like I said, we're going to put the white people on the side right now. And this ain't y'all fight. Let's chop it up with the Africans that captured us and sold us. But Shane, they didn't know the treatment. I don't want to hear whether or not they knew about the treatment. They still captured us and they still sold us into bondage. They didn't find they funky ass ways to America to rescue us, did they? They could give a damn. They knew what was going on. They knew what was going on. So pull up, Africans. Pull up.
So we're not supposed to complain. Say they're tired of us complaining. Well, go live in your own neighborhood and this, that, and the other, because the average Black people don't mess with no white folks no way. And we trying to do our own thing. We ain't bothering nobody.
And that's all we've been saying for the longest time, y'all. Look, just leave Black Americans alone. If y'all rock with us, we rock with y'all. You know, but we tired. We tired. Leave us alone. Stop dragging us into ish that we ain't got nothing to do with. Stop expecting us to help y'all. The Africans that come to this country, where y'all shops are at. Y'all shops are in the Black American community. Mexicans ain't going to allow Africans to set up shop in their communities. Jews ain't going to allow y'all funky ass Africans to set up shop in their communities. The Caucasians definitely ain't going to let y'all set up shop in their communities. The Asians ain't going to let y'all set up shop. The Italians, no nationality is going to let y'all funky ass Africans set up shop in their community. Only Black Americans allow y'all to set up shop in our communities. And this is the thanks we get. This is the thanks that Black Americans get from those funky ass Africans. Y'all leave Black Americans alone. Seriously. Leave us alone.
We ain't doing y'all nothing. Y'all the only one get on TikTok, on YouTube with your racist videos. That's right. Calling us this, that, and the other. And don't want us to say nothing about it. Like you can go out, use this word, the N word. Well, y'all use it, this, that, and the other. That go to show you they're the one playing victims.
Still no Africans have pulled up in my chat. I'm waiting on y'all because I want to chop it up. I really would like to chop it up with somebody from Africa. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the Africans didn't capture us and sell us into bondage. Maybe I'm missing something. And I don't want to talk about nothing else about. Only thing I want to talk to the Africans about is the Africans capturing us and selling us into bondage. I don't want to talk about, but that was so long ago. Black Americans need to get over it. I want Africans, because just as quick as me and other Black Americans, we want white America, we want white people to take accountability for slavery. We got to start putting pressure on Africans, because as y'all can see, Africans don't give a damn about us. Not all. But I'm so tired, y'all. Listen to me. This is how you know Shank Rock is tired of something. When y'all start seeing me doing demonstrations, that's how y'all know I'm tired. I'm so tired of the Africans that belittle us. I'm so tired of the Africans that look down on us. It's not all of them, though. It's not all of them. I'm tired. Always talking about Black Americans don't have no culture. Black Americans are that. But what about you all? Africans don't have no culture? What is y'all culture? Now, I seen a video where the Blacks in Britain was talking about they created soul food. Black Americans ain't create soul food. It was the Black Britishers that created soul food. Come on, y'all. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. We know we the shit. Black Americans, we know we the salt of the earth. We know we the flavor. We know the whole world taps into where? America. And who's in America? Why you say sold us? It's Africans who sold Africans because of tribalism and Europeans playing sides, forcing them to capture and sell other tribes. Are you listening to what I'm saying? You're saying the same thing that I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing that you're saying. That's why I said Africans. Because before We became Black Americans. We were Africans. It's the same thing. Don't pluck my nerves on this demonstration if you don't know what you're talking about. Don't try to rearrange what I'm saying to something different. It's the same damn thing that I'm saying. April says, I thought y'all were the ones that made soulful. Last time I checked, I thought so too, April. But the blacks in Britain is talking about they made soulful. Appreciate you, Latricia. Great presentation, Shank Rock. They rude too for no reason. I mean, rude as hell. And see, we've been allowing the Africans to ride on our bandwagon. And we never had a smoke for the Africans. We didn't. We might roast them. I will say that. We would roast them and call them African booty snatchers and all of that. The comedians. I'll take accountability for that. But Africa, this is what I was trying to show on a previous demonstration. Talking about it didn't get cool to be from Africa until 2016. No, this is the 80s. This is the 80s. This is X-Clan. We was dressing in African garments back in the 80s and even in the 70s and the 60s. We was dressing in African garbs. Okay, but your people might be from a tribe that was selling other tribes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is you're basically, and let me backtrack and let me tone it down a little bit. But we're saying the same thing, though. I'm saying the same thing that you're saying. It was the Africans. So we're saying the same thing. Appreciate you. White history is black history. Exactly. Why soul food came from black slaves, because that's all they had. So I don't know what makes the blacks and British to believe that they created soul food. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. But I'll say it again. Africans, listen. Y'all sold y'all brothers and sisters. Let me put it that way. Y'all didn't sell Black Americans into slavery. Y'all sold other Africans from different tribes. Later on, those Africans that y'all captured and sold from different tribes later on in slavery and bondage, later on, they became Black Americans. Would y'all like to chop it up? Is there any Africans that would like to chop it up? And I know I got some subscribers that are Africans. Chop it up. And this is not to throw shade. This is not to start a hostile environment. None of the above. I want us to give credit to Black Americans. I really do. And I think it's time. That Africans come forward and say, no longer can we go to America and look down on Black Americans. Tied. In my opinion, nobody should sit there and be saying that America is anybody's. This is supposed to be the land of the free. We are supposed to welcome other people into our society. Well, I understand where you're coming from, April, but when the forefathers, when the founding fathers of America, which were England's worst criminals, England didn't want them no more. So England kicked them out of England and gave them the boats and sent them this way. And so Christopher Columbus and John Hawkins and the rest of them, upon their arrival, they had a plan to steal, because they were England's worst criminals. So those founding forefathers of America had a plan to steal, to take this land from the natives. But I understand where you're saying. I know where you're going at with it. I know where you're going at. Actually, this land belonged to the Native Americans. Right. Right. So the founding forefathers, they did steal this land, and they were England's worst criminals. Appreciate you, Kansas Gemini. I just ran across a video that you and Miss Parker should check out. Send it to me on Instagram. Send it to me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Shank Rock. Before it was stolen. So see, so it's so much. It's so much that has to be redone, along with the African nations paying reparations. I do believe reparations should come from the African nations as well as the United States of America government. Along with the reparations, they got to give us back what was taken from us. They got to give us the land that was taken from us. They got to give us back our identities. Because in reality, we're not Black Americans. They're going to have to give us our identity back. And whatever land our ancestors. Now, whether we want to claim that land or not, because some of us, like me, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Me, I feel like if the government of the United States would free me, and it's just me speaking, because according to the Constitution of the government, I'm still considered a slave. What do they consider us? Is it 3/4 of a human being? I can't remember, but I do know the government of the United States of America still consider us as I believe it's 3/4 of human beings. So if the government will give me my free nationality, I will want my nationality to be of American. I'll consider myself just American. So if anybody would say, well, Shank, what would you consider yourself to be? Nigeria, Ethiopian, this part, that part, I would say America. I would say I'm an American. But the United States of America has to first acknowledge me as a human being and give me my free nationality. A lot of melanated people take on the nationality of Moorish Americans. Salute, Valerie. You welcome, Kansas, and thank you. April says, I'm only one person, but in my eyes, y'all are still people just like I am, and y'all deserve to have respect given to y'all. And we on the same page. So in my opinion, you know, I'm with everybody. Well, not everybody, but I'm with those that say, can we just do away with this whole race thing? Why we just can't be one race? Now, here's my belief, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe, regardless of our skin complexion, I believe, regardless of what continent, what country we was born on, I believe that if we are living in America and if we are law-abiding citizens, I do believe that we all should be considered Americans. And I believe that if we could all be on that same accord, I believe that if the government would recognize us all as Americans, I believe that, because then discrimination would go out the window. I believe that America would be a better place if the government would recognize us all as Americans. Appreciate this cash donation, 80s baby. And if you would like to help with cash donation, my cash app is $ERICMCINT. I'm multitasking, y'all. I'm on 2 different streaming platforms. To my folks that's watching on After Dark with Shank, if you wanted to purchase a super sticker or a super chat, you would have to come over to the main channel, which is Shank Rock, to purchase a super sticker or a super chat. And if you're watching from the main channel, Shank Rock, and if you would like to support and help us reach our goal of 15 super stickers or super chats, just click on the $ symbol. But building with you, April, I believe that that's when America really would rise to a whole new nother level. If we would all, according to the government, see, it's the government. It's not us. It's not the average people that you come in contact with. We all on the same accord, but it's the government. The government would just recognize us all as Americans. This country would rise. I mean, I'm going to grab one more and then we're going to get out of here. Appreciate your super sticker, Kansas Gemini. But I think it's time for Africans to have this conversation. I think it's time. And that's just my opinion, y'all. It's only my opinion. I think it's time for Africans to have this conversation with us. They quick to look down on Black Americans. All right, we get it. Some of them quick to talk about we need to stop blaming white people. Okay, no problem. So let's put the blame, and this is just my opinion. Other blacks might disagree, but let's put the blame where the blame should be pointed to, and that's the Africans. See, the white man, he's second in line. Now, I ain't letting y'all funky asses off the hook either. So I don't want y'all funky ass white people to be like, yeah, Shank let us off the hook. Hell to the nah. Y'all second in line. Because y'all funky asses ain't had to buy us from those funky ass Africans. But I want us to really, really come together, and whatever wrongs have been made, I want us to fix them. And Black Americans, just because I'm holding Africans accountable, and just because I'm holding white people accountable and calling the Africans funky asses and the white ones funky asses, Black Americans, we are some funky asses too. We got to get our shit together as well. So because I know that if we would get past that, if we could just get past that, then we could focus on other things. They say it's bigger fishes to fry. The government is nothing more than fascism you can vote for. Appreciate you, 80s, baby. Glitz Glam says, agreed. Simply says, but Shank, are they trying to unite? It's better to keep us divided. Facts. And I do believe, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe that Black Americans should go back to those any of those countries on the continent of Africa. However, if we did, then fine. I think if we go back to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as well as Marcus Garvey and Noble Drew Ali, because Marcus Garvey had the Pan-African movement to go back to Africa. I think some, but I think if we focus on Noble Drew Ali and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaching, they wanted the United States of America government to give us some land. Now, when it comes to reparations, y'all don't have to give the United States of America government, and it's just my opinion, the government Okay, y'all don't want to give us, y'all don't want to give us no money, fine. But give us some land. Give us some acres of land. Give us some territory that we can build. We can build our own communities. Like the all-white community. I agree with them. I do. I agree with them. If that's what they want, go for it. I do believe that in America, because you got Chinatown, you know, you got in these cities, you got communities where the different ethnicities, the different race groups are at. And I think that that would be a good thing for us as melanated people. But now those funky ass white mobs can't come and destroy our communities. And it can't be none of that. Hell to the no. When Africa become a global power, you wouldn't even need a reparations from the whites. Also, Africans don't look down on Black Americans. It's the opposite. And I'll take that if because it's an open platform and it's an opinionated platform. So I have to respect how you feel. If that's how you feel, that's fine. I feel different. I believe different, but I respect what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. How could he push going back to Africa? What that Talonda. You know my funky ass can't have spell. You know my funky ass got a problem with pronouncing words. Now here, your funky ass go with trying to set me up. What in the hell is your ass trying to say, Talonda? How could he push going back to Africa when that, and Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Talonda says that Marcus had never been to Africa, so how was he pushing the narrative? Okay. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Marcus Garvey was from Jamaica. Talonda says Africans do look down on us. And they do. Africans, they do look down on us. Salute, Sean, I see you. Glitz says, I have to be honest. I've definitely considered dual citizenship. In my eyes, that's taking back our power. Glitz Glam, get with me on Instagram. I'm with that. I'm with that. I'm not going to hold y'all that much longer. If anybody want to join me on the panel, feel free. Right. He wasn't even American trying to take us off our land. What are y'all thoughts? Because I was all for Marcus Garvey's Pan-African. Do y'all think it would have been a bad idea for us to relocate back? What are y'all thoughts? Glad to see you, 80s, baby. What are y'all thoughts? I'm going to grab one more, and then we're going to get out of here.
They don't believe how toxic this is. If you're still using a plastic or wooden cutting board, you need to hear this. I
think the best is just to tell the truth for Houston and for New York. So many sleepless nights because currently I am on my way back to Nigeria. The US has all your data, your Instagram page, every single thing. So apparently My Instagram obviously says different because they even checked all my messages with my customers. You know, the customers have been telling that
They checked her Instagram and sent her home. Nigerian businesswoman's visa's nightmare. What happened at the US border? You will all hear directly from a Nigerian businesswoman who was detained for 24 good hours and denied entry into the United States of America, despite holding a valid B1/B2 visa, having a legitimate reason for her trip. And still, she was denied entry. If you want to understand how the social media activities could affect your travel and what this means for the future of diaspora entrepreneurship, keep watching the full video.
hi everyone. I have thought of many ways to do this, and to be honest, none of it hurts any less. I have figured out in my head, should I tell you guys the truth or should I just play along with it? But I think the best is just to tell the truth. As you all know, I and my team has really prepared for this trade fair, for Houston and for New York. So many sleepless nights in preparation for this trade fair, but it hurts me to tell you guys that I won't be there because currently I am on my way back to Nigeria. So I'm not one, right, to come out on social media and start to cry or talk about all my hurts as a business person, but this one hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. So apparently I was denied entrance into the US, and that's because my visa was a B1/B2 visa, which is tourism slash business meetings, right? So when I landed, I was detained for like 24 hours in their detention room. And when I was questioned, I told them that I was just only going to exhibit. But I didn't know any better because the US has all your data, your Instagram page, every single thing. So apparently, my Instagram obviously says different because they even checked all my messages with my customers. You know, the customers have been telling that we're coming and they can pick up and, you know, all of that. Long story short, this is actually for my US days. God knows I tried. I really wanted you guys to see the face behind this brand. You know, the face that puts in all the work. I wanted you guys to not only experience my product, but experience the person behind the product.
So she got deported, and the reasons why she got deported had to do with some things that she put on social media. She's Nigerian. She's from Nigeria. Let me just grab this. Why is Trump's funky ass pickup shank? Because she's been deported. And she's saying because of Trump. Now, when it comes to the deportation, it's a very, very sensitive topic. Very, very sensitive topic. And I'm only going to say this because I'm going to be careful with my choices of words because I do have feelings. I do have feelings. The immigrants, see, the Africans and the other immigrants, they're just getting just a small whiff of what we have been experiencing all this time. See, for so long, they thought it was just Black Americans. See, the government, the president, and everything that was being done, y'all remember, it was only done to Black Americans. See, but now Trump's in office, and Trump, he ain't got no beef with Black Americans. Somebody said on my last demonstration, he don't got no beef with Black Americans, Shank, because we're no threat. Fine. However, he don't got no beef with us. See, now me being a Black America, I'm keeping it 100. It feels good to see others. It's about time that they experience what we have been experiencing for hundreds and hundreds of years. So now maybe, and I don't know, I've seen a few Hispanic men and women have said we were wrong about how we done Black Americans. We want to apologize to Black Americans. Apology accepted, because at least they see it. At least the Hispanics, at least a few Hispanics, those they see it. They like, damn, we thought that Black Americans was just crying. They were just pushing the race card and it's just playing the victim and all. They said, but we going through what they've been going through. And now they see it. That's all. That's all. That's all. And I don't want to make this about Trump, but what I'm saying is, finally, see, Cat Williams said it last year. Cat Williams said the year 2025, everything will be exposed. Everything will be revealed. Y'all see how God works? And I got all kind of stuff thrown at me when I said that God got his hand on Trump. I said Trump is God's man. I got so much stuff thrown at me. I had to do my demonstration like this. I had to be like this doing my demonstrations. I had to go like this doing my demonstration. I really had to duck because, boy, I was getting lit up. How dare you say that, Shank? How dare you say that God got his hand on Trump? Didn't God have his hand on Pharaoh? God chooses who he wants to choose, right? But I don't want to make this about Trump because I'm tired of ducking and dodging, because I know y'all get ready to start throwing all kind of stuff at me. But the point that I'm making is now the immigrants are realizing what Black Americans have been experiencing. And they only just getting just a small percentage. But they see it now. Like, damn, they racially profiling us. Damn, they pulling up on us. Damn, they deporting us. Damn, they breaking up our families. Yeah. They've been breaking up our families for the last 400 years. Probably longer than that. They've been breaking up the Black families in America. A Black woman give birth to her baby. They take the baby, and the woman, that Black mother, carried that baby for 9 months and gave birth to that Black baby, and she never saw that baby again. And that went on for hundreds of years. Come on. My beef is with the Africans. Y'all got to clear this up. I would like to see more Africans. coming forward and speaking about how it was wrong that the Africans sold other Africans, and those Africans that got sold ended up being Black Americans. Talk about that if y'all want to talk about something. I'm going to take this last comment and then we're going to get out of here. But he don't give a damn about us either. Diamond says, yep. Trump is God's man, but definitely not in a good way. God is using what he got to get what he want, the destruction of America. The devil is God's man. I'm going to tell y'all why. If the devil wasn't God's man, then why do God use the devil? Right? Why did God allow the devil to make a deal? God and the devil made a deal with Job. God told the devil, you could do anything you want to do to Job, but you can't take his life. Because he knew through the devil, and the devil's work, he's going to be able to see just exactly how strong Job's faith is. God uses who he pleases. We all come from God. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Let me get out of here, y'all. Sean says, I agree. 300,000 Black women lost their public jobs because of his policies. I mean, immigrants did find out, but still. And I'm just save this for another demonstration, y'all, because y'all know we'll be here all night once I get on Trump. You know what I mean? Because when I talk about the 70% that I agree with Trump, y'all gonna come for me. When I talk about the 30% that I disagree with Trump, y'all gonna come for me. But just remember, in order for things to get better, they have to get worse. In order for a change to come, things have to fall apart. Sean says he uses all of us, and that's facts. Like, if, and I'm going to go by the Christian belief and the Muslim belief, on Judgment Day, you and I are going to be surprised of the people that make it into heaven. You and I are going to be surprised of the people that go to hell. We're going to be like, ain't nowhere in the world crazy ass Donnell made it into heaven. We're going to be like, why did she get sent to hell? Y'all follow me? We all got a part to play, but is you playing your part? Bring this back as a topic, Shank. See, I always say this to everybody. Are you playing your part? Are we so focused on Donald Trump and what Donald Trump is doing that we are neglecting our duties? Are you so focused on what your wife got going on, but lost track of what you got going on? Are you so caught up on your husband that you're not on your job? I say it all the time. We worry about everybody else, and we don't worry about ourselves. What you talking about, Shane? I go to work, I do this, I do that, I got money. But it's more to being a man and a woman than working and having money. It's more to being a man and a woman than looking good and dressing good. What's your heart like? I always talk about the heart. What is your heart like? Salute everybody. I might, Sean. I might. Because I just been, as y'all can see, I've been touching off on different demonstrations, because some demonstrations, it drained me. Like the Nazaria Harris. I can only do the Nazaria Harris. I can only do it for maybe a day or two. Then I got to switch and start talking about other things. You know what I mean? But I think about it, Sean. I think about it. Salute everybody, and I'll see y'all back at, pull back up at 5:30. Pull back up at 5:30. Salute everybody. I'll leave the chat running.